Hello again, everyone. We are Gaming by Gaslight, and welcome back to Starbound Frackin Universe. We're fresh off from our little excursion into the frozen wastes and all the madness that was there. Apparently, I picked up this spear at some point, which is ever so slightly better than the Shellguard cross spear we were using previously, so I figured we'll give this a try. It doesn't have quite as much range. It does have this nifty little energy thing here, and I have admin mode on apparently. What was I doing before I started? Testing something. Anyway, let's take those away because we really don't need admin privileges while, you know, properly playing the game. There, that's much better. All right. Anyway, so yeah, we have our fancy sparkliness, and when we last left off before doing that mission, we were about to go check out this Ethereal Sea. And it does have Ziphrosite, Penumbrite, Corruption, lots of useful stuff we're probably going to have need of, and that we don't really have in a large abundance to my knowledge, so let's jump right on in and get exploring. Also, I feel the need to note, you may or may not hear my dog barking upstairs, because apparently he is upset about something and feels the need to make sure everybody knows about it. You know, as you should do when you're upset about something. You know what? I had merged a gravity augment that I also came across somewhere with I'm not sure if I like it quite as much because I mean it means I'll never really die of fall damage ever again, but it also means that we kind of fall very. Oh, you know what? It works out for the best probably. All right, let's dip our little toesies in here. Okay, we've been shadow tainted, which, as I recall, makes the world very dark. So we probably want to be careful about that. We also probably want to grab ourselves a little bit of Aether. And if I still have my fishing rod, which I do, let's, also I recovered my other stuff. I'm kind of wondering if there's anything in the Ethereal Sea. I'm going to guess the answer is no. I'm hearing some voices. Is it just me, or does it look like there's eyeballs over there? Maybe I'm just imagining that. I'm hearing some whispering. Apparently I have gone insane. That's, good to know, I guess. Alright, so there doesn't seem to be anything worth mentioning, I guess, over there. And if, the voices will kindly shut up for a moment. You know what? We don't have one of these shadowy goobity gobbers, so let's capture him. There we go. Really good. Wait a minute. Or did we? It didn't say it added someone new to my collection. In fact, I see. You know what? I don't think it actually added him. Whereas with this low gravity, oh dear God. With this low gravity, I should be able to. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, that's what I like to see. There we go. Now we have an Orbead. You know, this these voices are starting to get on my nerves. And who do you think you are? Seriously. Anyway, I feel like I really should have a boat, but instead I'm just gonna jump into the Shadow Taint here, and we'll just very, very slowly sink to the bottom. It kind of looks like there's something down there, doesn't it? Oh, I'm hearing voices. Is that a tentacle over there? Well, we found something. We've sunk under the actual Aether itself. What's this? Flesh axe. What the heck is this thing? We should probably bring it to the lab to try it out. I bet it does something gross. Oh, a Plagius nodule? I don't suppose you've ever heard the story of Plagius Nodule the Wise. It was a, you know, I don't really know how to fully build that joke into something. But, since, I mean, who doesn't love a good old-fashioned Star Wars meme? Yes, alright, let's get out of the Aether here. We'll just kind of dig our way under it. We don't have to listen to it whining all the time. Stupid Aether constantly whining and contaminating me with its shadowy goodness. And not so goodness, for that matter. Oh dear. And now we are full on shadow tainted once again. Let's see if I can, nope, can't really fix that. Alright, I have ruined this for everyone. Most especially myself, though. Due to the fact that I forgot that, you know, this stuff actually does sink. It does not float down here. Everything sinks sooner or later. Solarium, we have some Aether, some Ferocium, other stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be dark as sin. What in the nine hells is that? It's, hello there, friend. Well, I suppose what we could do here is, pop open this, and then maybe we can kind of try to seal the sea out. And then just drain it, like so. There we go. Now we will slowly purge... Oh dear. Well, that didn't really work, now did it? We gotta go deeper. Much, much deeper. This is... Oh boy, what quality viewing experience this must be. Oh wait, we're about to jump into another layer where we can actually, hopefully, see things. Alright, we'll just kind of float on down here. And that is going to just... That's just going to do its thing, so let's get out of here, wait for the shadow taint to die. I feel like I've captured one of these off camera, so I'm not really gonna... Not gonna worry about it too much. Alright, there is some water just flowing on down here. It is kind of weird sometimes how, world generation in Frackin Universe ends up and, merging things together. Since, especially with ocean worlds, they're... Block of darkness. I don't think that's what I, really want it to do. What is this? Solid darkness formed in the Umbra. How? That is a good question. Another good question is, why am I not using my ore detector to find stuff like this delicious purple ore, which is penumbra? Makes sense, it's purple. Purple would be penumbra. Is this the ziphrosite, or is this, no, that's more penumbrite. Right. Let's see here. Alright, now, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, we found corrupted biomass. But, oh dear. No, dig under that, because we don't want that falling down again. Some Aether dust. This is more penumbrite, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. Alright, so ziphrosite. What does ziphrosite look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? These are the questions that we need to know. Actually, maybe it's that over there. There's also corruption. We need to find corruption. But where would I find corruption? Yes, this is ziphrosite ore. Right there. Beautiful. Alright, we've got all kinds of good stuff coming on our way. And, I mean, what better way to live one's life than at the bottom of an ethereal sea? Where there is nothing. No aggravations, just friendly crustaceans. Oh god, and we've been shadow tainted again. Why? What shadow tainted me? Was it the block? Must have been that block I fell on. Block of pure darkness. Oh no, there's Aether down here still? Alright. Let's get out of that. Try to get to some light, which we stray apparently further from with each passing day. Oh boy. I am very definitely, I think, going to want, at some point... Wow. That doesn't even do anything for me anymore. I'm going to want to do something at some point in order to try... Yeah, it's just block of darkness that is causing all these issues, isn't it? Or maybe not, because now we seem to be slowly getting light again. That's always a good thing. What? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've picked up corruption before, but what exactly would corruption look like if we were to go chasing it ourselves? This is really weird. These caves we're finding down here. Very, very weird indeed. Black slime, ferocium. Wait, what is this? That corruption right there? No, that can't be it. No, corrupted biomass. Alright, so that is in fact corruption, and that is in fact what we were looking for. And with these things in our possession, we are uniquely situated, I would say, to making sure that we get sort of that top tier final boss conquering goodness. And now we've got an ever angry Zubat after us, because Zubats are always angry, and they just, I don't know, they hate life, their own life, other people's lives. They just want to make things miserable. At least that's the conclusion I've come to. They're very unpleasant people. But aside from all that, I guess the ever important thing we should be talking about is, where do we want to make our home? I mean, I normally like to build on ocean worlds just because I like having a big infinite source of water to play around with. Though we don't really explicitly need such a thing. I mean, if I really want it, we could just dig out our very own lake. Or take a little bit of time, but we could do it. And I suppose if I really took the time and just learned how to use tiled, I could probably make just my own custom dungeon in sort of the shape of whatever I want. And then we would have, you know, what we want going on there. Explicitly, what we want would be, I could make a dungeon, look however I want, and then just plop it down on any world. You know, instant crafting. Just add water. Something like, oh dear. What is this? Flesh pile. Delicious. That is exactly what I want it to fall into. Delightful stuff. Now, I guess the question becomes, we're not really doing much on the surface of this place, are we? This is just, what, dark water? Which doesn't seem to have any effect on me. I mean, I'm not sure if that's just because I happen to have immunity from one of the many, many augments I've merged with myself, or if it's because of the fact that dark water by itself doesn't do anything. I don't entirely know. You'd figure I would at this point, because I could have easily looked it up many, many times, but apparently I've just never got around to doing that, and I just splattered something, which... Oh, and we got some baby larvas. Delicious. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. But you know, digging down into the core of this world, it really does remind me that I wish there were more underground dungeons that could spawn. Like, not just like the mini dungeons, because that's tend to be what you find down here, but like actual, like, full-sized dungeons, like big things that you could explore. Like the kind of things you find on the surface, like the Apex facilities, the Avian temples. I mean, a lot of those things kind of start on the surface and then go underground, but it'd be pretty cool to find. I guess the nearest equivalent I'm thinking of would be like the Lizard Temple in Terraria. Also, apparently this world just kind of... It just drops. There is no liquid core. It is a cold, dead place down here. Which, you know, that's good, I guess. If you're into that sort of thing, anyway. Personally, I like my worlds to have a little bit of life in them. Generally because worlds with life inside of them generally can support life on top of them. And generally speaking, I like living. Since to my knowledge, I am in fact a living organism and not, you know, just some kind of soulless automaton here. And in general, living organisms tend to flourish when there is, you know, actual life. Which actually leads me to think, like, wouldn't a world that literally had no molten core, wouldn't it be extremely cold? I mean, I have to assume, again, you know, with all these things here. I didn't really check if it said anything in particular, but then again, I mean, this is a video game. Let's not get too, you know, let's not examine things too closely. Because that's a good way to suck all the fun out of something. Is to just examine it just a little bit too closely. Closer than you really ought to. That's what willing suspension of disbelief is all about, after all. We're also going to get a lot of materials here that may or may not be useful. Kind of wonder what I would get if I chucked hive blocks or flesh piles would probably just produce genetic material or something. But what would a hive block produce, I wonder, if I chucked it in the old extractolator, as I call it. It's not actually called the extractolator, to avoid confusion, it's actually called the extractor. But I prefer to call it the extractolator, just because I can. Though admittingly, that could be confusing for anyone who doesn't, you know, if anyone is new coming into this series and thinking to themselves, what the heck is this guy talking about? I've played this mod, you know, as you may find yourself saying, and I have not encountered anything called an extractolator. This guy's just crazy and doesn't know what he's talking about. Which, in fairness, I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I just talk, and sometimes things just work out. And it turns out that even if I don't really know what I'm talking about, I can still pass for knowing what I'm talking about. It's always a good day when stuff like that can happen. Anyway, let's cook ourselves a little bit of rice, because, generally speaking, we also don't want to die. Of course, then again, we have like 10 million pus plums here. So I could just be eating these and these spooky berries and other things. I really should do more to collect seeds. Excuse me. And just get a farm going. That's another thing that we're going to do once we get our base going proper-like. Which I hope to start doing in the next video, since after this little journey here, this little jaunt, if you will, I'm probably going to just search for a world that meets my general specifications. Or I could just go ahead and spend a bit of time off camera to get a terraformer. That also works. Because then we can just terraform a world. And, yeah. That's also, like, with my talk earlier about generally liking to build bases and stuff on ocean worlds. The big problem with that, of course, is that because they're mostly just islands, you do have to put a lot of work in order to actually get a reasonable landmass going, because usually the islands on said ocean worlds are not all that big. So if you really want to get a sizable base going, unless you don't mind building it directly on, or, you know, in the water, which is, you know, there's a certain charm to be had with that, I guess. But for me personally, I would kind of want an island, as it were, and I'd probably have to sculpt and mold that island a little bit. And that is another reason why it might be a good idea to learn myself a little bit of tiled, because then I could probably just create, like in tiled, it'd be much easier, because then I could just, you know, wouldn't have to get blocks or anything. I would, what are you, sir? Or anything like that. I would just be able to build whatever happens to take my fancy, and then I could just spawn it in later. And that would work out pretty nice. Let's see, this is... Let's suck up that Aether here. I mean, we've been shadow tainted, but... Alright, so a deep purple. Is that the penumbra again, or is that... Yeah, that's penumbra. But I may have been lucky enough to find some ziphrosite there, but that's ziphrosite. It's a bluish color? No, it is also purple. Maybe that is just more penumbrite. Only one way to find out. I mean, there's actually multiple ways to find out anything, really, in life, but, that is, in fact, just more penumbrite. Dang. Oh well, that's okay. I'm pretty sure we got enough ziphrosite for the time being anyway. And I think... Or is this ziphrosite? It's kinda... Nope, that's more corrupted biomass. Which, you know, it's not bad. It's not exactly what we were looking for, but it does do the job a little bit, doesn't it? Could you stop that, sir? Stop that. Thank you. Just kind of punch you guys a little bit until you go away. Also, a perfect opportunity to get some more bone boo seeds, which apparently we did not have before, because now we can craft something new, and new stuff is always fun. But, yeah. I guess at this point we're basically done, so I think I'm going to cut away and go back to the surface. Because I want to see if there is anything on, like, the surface of this planet, because it might be interesting. If there is anything, that is. And we could find, you know, maybe... Because sometimes there are dungeons, I think, on ocean worlds. So ocean worlds are kind of, in my experience, dungeon-less. So we'll find out. And I'll see you guys momentarily. Alrighty then, so we are back, and we are, I guess, fighting the hordes of the Mothman here. Stupid moth monsters. Like this, and some of that, and a little bit of this as well. Now, since these do look like unique monsters, I wonder if they would be worth collecting for the Frackin, or for the purposes of collecting all the things in Frackin Universe. And there is something to be said for that. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do right now. It's also some kind of exploding rain right now. Definitely not a purple rain, which is generally the preferred type of rain. Also, I see you there, Mr. Thing, which I'm going to take. Leave me alone, Mr. Mothman. I have nothing for you today. Alrighty then. Anyway, so it doesn't really look like there's too much to get excited about in the Aetherial Sea. It's really just... I wonder how low oh god. I was gonna say, how low can I get in this thing without suffering the effects of Shadow Taint, but... apparently... oh! There is a dungeon, but it just looks like it's one of those crashed spaceships. We've been in a number of those, so there's not really too much exciting to look forward to in one of these. So we'll just pass it by. We'll turn our noses up at it. But the fact that something was on the surface to explore, it counts for something in my books. There's also a little snaily over there. Is that its name? Snaily? I don't think that's its name. I do like the background. What you can see of it anyway. I mean, little spires in the background, some mountains, some little twistly things over there. Also mountains, possibly of the mad variety. Oh! Hello. This is a bit of a... oh! This is actually a Hylaudal village. Which means if we, crap. I have to actually get in there. Well... wait, what was this? Like... this is interesting. Just on the grounds that it's actually well on the surface. In fact, in general, I find, like, Frackin Universe is a bit weird with ocean worlds, just because, like, I went to a frigid ocean world, and the ocean actually went all the way up into the sky. Wait, why am I not suffering the effects of Shadow Taint? I don't understand. What's going on? Anyway, the important thing is, we have found a Hylaudal village. I suppose we could make this our base. That would be kind of cool. Or wait, maybe we're not suffering the effects because we're in, like, the range of the protection-y module, and now it's getting dark. Very, very dark. Let's get the heck out of here. Yeah. I don't know, I think Frackin Universe, like, there must be some weird thing going on here with, like, the way it, generates ocean worlds compared to vanilla. Like, what the heck is this? Whole bunch of Arceus crystals. Which, I'm not entirely sure myself what the source of such weirdness would be, but it is interesting that ocean worlds seem to end up being just a little wonky-like. Not wonky enough to be bad, like 90% of the time, but they can be kind of weird at times. But anyway, I think this is as good a spot as any to wrap things up, so as I just sit in this chair and write my notes down on the wonders and terrors that we have experienced in this cold, unforgiving universe, I would just like to say thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button, or maybe leave me a comment down below to let me know what you're thinking. And I will see you all in the next video.